we using culture as an excuse not to succeed?
I think they go both ways.
Okay.
Sometimes,
Does that mean you cannot succeed if you are not confident?
sometimes you need to be confident to help you succeed. Because there are some people who are not confident, but they have succeeded. And there are some people, it's their confidence that took them far away. Coming from Africa, Ghana to be specific, where we are taught to be timid.
Are we taught to be timid? That's the thing.
That is how the system has made us to be. Because when I returned back from my mission, my brother had a land in Ghana. I was more of like, take care of the land and, get the papers and everything. It got to a point they were not, forthcoming. And I was like, hey, I really need those documents to send to my brother. It's either you give me the money or you give me the document. And they were like, hey, you don't talk to an elderly person like that. And I was like, no, when it comes to business, there's nothing like he's an elderly person or he's a younger person. This is business. Do you believe success requires you to distance yourself from your cultural identity? Why or why not?
I don't think to be successful, you need to distance yourself from that identity. But to be successful, you can look at that identity. People will say that when you go to Rome,
Do what the Romans do.
exactly.
Okay, the Romans, most of them are poops. Can you be a poop?
If you want to, you can do it. Welcome you once again to another episode of Success Mindset Podcast. My name is Ken, and today I'm here with
The Turk.
And today we have once again a very interesting discussion up for you guys. And we know you guys are going to like this one. We would like to see you guys' contribution in the comment section. You guys should get interactive with us. Let's get to know each other more so we can put out content tailored for you guys, our audience. And before we also continue, if you guys have not subscribed, please and please again, just hit that subscribe button and then make sure you also like this video and other videos that we've put out there that you probably haven't seen. We'd like you to go back out there and then check on those videos as well. So today we are going to discuss about culture and how it relates to us succeeding. Is our cultures impeding on our success? Or are we using culture as an excuse not to succeed? What do you think, Ditek?
Well, I think they go both ways.
Okay.
Sometimes our culture kind of like impedes our success, and sometimes it helps shape our success.
Impedes our success.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like I think to it, I'm like, how can our culture like impede our success?
So, for example, like in Ghana, let me use in Ghana for example.
Okay.
Most people growing up, you are taught to be timid, quiet. Even if an elderly person offends you, it's like, oh yeah, or a penny, he's an adult, so let it go and stuff. So you are not even able to voice out. Even when you voice out, you speak out, they feel like, oh, you are disrespectful, you are arrogant.
But I mean, as you're saying it, right? It's also cultural. There are some cultures in Ghana that are very different.
I know.
Right?
But like in general, it's like that everywhere. I mean, in Ghana especially. And then when you travel outside of the country, that kind of thing, it's like a curse. It follows you. If you don't change, that's it. I was fortunate enough to come out from a home whereby you speak your mind. Like, my dad will tell you, if you go do something and they come for you, I'm just sending you to the police. That's it. So you have to be honest. You have to be true to your words, because where you come from, it's like, don't lie. Just say it as it is, even if they are going to kill you. So I was fortunate to come from a home like that. And that has made me so confident that I don't care who you are. As long as I'm not disrespecting you and I'm speaking the truth and I have proof, I will voice out. I don't care who you are. whether you're my manager, you're whatever, I'll just be honest with you, lay it down for you. That's it. And even talking about my manager, like some people will go to a workplace and because certain things are not going well, they kind of, let me just stay in like that. No, that work, fine. Maybe they might fire you, but like it's better to speak out or speak up than to, be timid and then watch the thing go south before you be like, oh, I had an idea to resolve this and that. Yeah. So that's it.
As you were talking, it just reminded me of a post I saw on social media. It's like a group of people at a safari, and they're in this kind of open safari truck that they go with for like to tour. And then the caption on that was like, a lion feels like he's a house cat. This lion just jumps into the truck, and then they are just petting the lion, and the lion is just calm, and they are just playing with the lion. So that came to my mind because you were like, yeah, you go somewhere and that thing follows you because that is who you've been. That's how you've been trained, to become. And once you leave, it's like that is who you feel you are. And so you are not able to change, right? But then, does that mean you cannot succeed if you are not confident?
Sometimes you need to be confident to help you succeed.
Sometimes. Not all the times.
Not all the time, because there are some people who are not confident but they have succeeded. And there are some people, it's their confidence that took them far away.
Okay.
Someone like me, it's my confidence that has taken me far away.
Okay.
Like, even if there is a storm, whatever, I'm always calm, confident that, hey, I'm going to come out. That's how I am. And that's how I've always been. Whilst people are struggling, and I've had an experience like that, and you've noticed it in school, like, was it 3-4 years ago? You noticed that I was calm. Even when I knew that, man, if you don't take care, things are going to go south. I was just calm because I knew that I will come out of it. Maybe it was my faith. Like, I have this crazy faith that no matter what I'm going through, I'll always come out from it. Like, there's always a way for me. And that's it. And I'm confident about that.
I mean, I like that you are built that way. You have that mentality.
Yeah.
And as you said, it was not always like that, right? And so even though we may be confident in ourselves, there are times where we will have to be calm. Like there is a difference between being confident and then also being like ego. Yeah. The English is not coming, but like egotistical or something like that, right? Right? Like having too much ego, and being like overbearing, like towards others, right? It's like, yes, you are confident, but sometimes you have to read a room and then realize that, okay, this calls for like a calm, response.
Okay.
And it's not all the time that I have to like go, because I'm like, oh, I need to be confident in order to succeed. And I've seen that so many times. Like, for example, I remember back when I was in college and then we went for like a career fair, right? And then once you're going, you go to all these places that you prep yourself. You go to all these, they call like seminars, something like that, where you go, you sit down and like they teach you kind of questions to ask and what to look out for and stuff like that. And so you go out the back of your mind, you're like, oh, I'm so ready for this.
Yeah.
And then you go and you meet people and you realize that, oh, each conversation requires like a different kind of approach. But if you go with just that mindset of, oh, this is all that I know, and so when I go, this is all that I do, you realize that once you start having conversations, with potential like people that are going to hire you, you realize that you get to a point where you won't have anything to say. And I feel it's like that even with like all types of communication, even like relationships, wherever you find yourself, it's like that. If you just go and being like, oh, I'm like too confident, I'm like so prepared. It reminds me of the session we had with Camilla, where she was talking about, she was like so prepared, but then she went and then that didn't happen for her, But later on, when she was like, "Oh, I'm really like off it," and like she was calm and she felt like she wasn't like really prepared. She was just natural. It happened.
I understand that. But coming from Africa, Ghana to be specific, where we are taught to be timid,
Are we taught to be timid? That's the thing.
that is how the system has made us to be.
Hmm.
Because, okay, let a president do something right now, or let an elderly person do something right now and voice it out.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
cannot.
you can't do
You
it.
can't do anything.
They'll,
Yeah.
they'll tell you, oh, you are disrespectful. Let me give you a typical example. When I returned back from my mission, my brother had a land in Ghana, and I was more of like take care of the land and get the papers and everything working out, and my brother was sending the money. And then when I take the money to them, I'm like, hey, when would you finish the document? Like I always ask those questions, and my parents would be like, hey, I got to a point they were not forthcoming, and I was like, hey, I really need those documents to send to my brother. It's either you give me the money or you give me the document. That's it. And they were like, hey, you don't talk to an elderly person like that. And I was like, no, when it comes to business, there's nothing like age.
Yeah.
There's nothing like he's an elderly person or he's a younger person. This is business. I give you money, you need to return the service. That's it. But you see, this is where my parents are.
That was the
being
response, yeah.
disrespectful.
And so that's
That's
the cultural thing that has existed for so many years, and it's like all the generations that come up through it. It's like it's an unwritten law. It's like something that it's done.
Yeah, but I think now people are changing. The people are changing now.
Yeah, I think I can see that. Like a lot of people voice their frustration on like national issues on social media.
Yeah.
It's not all of them that I agree with. As I said
That's
earlier,
true.
it's like
Yeah.
it's the way you approach things that is going to make
When insult comes in, then
it definitely like destroys the entire purpose, right? And as you were talking about stuff, I just remember like a question I asked chat about what is culture, right? And I'll just run us through it real quick. Said culture is basically the vibe of a group of people. It's all the stuff that shapes how they live, think, and express themselves, like language, traditions, values, art and music, food, clothing and style, social norms. I mean, a lot of people that are like, oh, there is no culture. Like America doesn't have a culture. Like you come from a place that is like, you guys have so much culture, a lot of rich culture. And I'm like, yes, there is culture here as well.
Yeah.
From what I just read is like the way people live, that is what like their culture is. And like there's a culture they talk about like people in Utah that I'm like, okay, that's people's opinion. Yeah, and I'm sure every state that you go in, there are things that people are like, oh, if you see someone that has this kind of accent or someone that likes this type of food or likes this type of TV show, like they come from, they can pinpoint states and places that these people come from. And as you're saying, like coming from Africa, we have all these cultures that we've grown to kind of like love, appreciate, and embrace. And I don't think that is impeded on our success.
I said sometimes it does.
Mm-hmm.
So, let me ask this question. Do you believe success requires you to distance yourself from your cultural identity? Why or why not? If you answer, I'll tell you why I asked that question.
Distance yourself from your cultural identity. Now, cultural identity, that is kind of who you are, right? And I don't think to be successful, you need to distance yourself from that identity. But to be successful, you can look at that identity and see what you need to build on so that you can be successful. You don't need to take it away, right? You have it, but then you look at what is making you fall short and then you build on. I feel that cuts across all walks of life, right? It's like a lot of times people are like, oh, I'm going to focus on my weakness and build upon it. But sometimes, or most of the time, we need to focus on what our strengths are, especially when we are amongst people, when like we
Yeah.
are part of a team or a group of people. It's our strengths that we need to put out there to help the goal of that team or group to be able to be achieved.
Okay. Now, some people will leave Ghana or Africa, come here, and then kind of like throw their roots away, their identity away.
Mm.
They try to assimilate, just fit in.
Okay, I
They
like that
throw
word,
they
assimilate.
throw certain things away. Like, let's take for example, I've been reading the news a lot. There are some people who will come here, and you know that there are certain things that you can't do at home.
Mm.
Maybe smoke or whatever, like, but you come here and then, oh yeah, you're living
I have the freedom.
you have the freedom, you're doing everything you want.
Uh-huh.
You know that, oh, there's no money at home where you come from. Okay, you were living humbly over there,
Mm-hmm.
and then you came here, oh yeah, America, I'm in America. You start buying flashy cars. Meanwhile, there's nothing at home. Instead of you to
Okay.
try and use your roots or your identity to help propel you to a greater height, you're like, oh damn, I mean, forget here, no, let me do what they are doing here. The same way people will take up accents. Like, fine, when you live at a place for a very long time, your accent kind of change
Mm-hmm.
and stuff. But you see someone or buy 3 days ago, Charlie, the person they slur, like the person came 3 days ago, but the person even speaks.
They came prepared. I don't know what you're talking about.
So it's like you throw certain things away. Some people even get involved in so many things that they're not even supposed to get involved in. Meanwhile, that's not what you were taught at home.
Mm-hmm.
So you see, like, people,
So it's like that too much freedom,
yeah,
right? But then, are we being deceived by cliches or by like quotes that have been adopted internationally? For example, people will say that when you go to Rome,
do what the Romans do.
exactly.
Okay, the Romans, most of them are poops. Can you be a poop?
If you want to, you can do it.
See,
Right? And so it's like when they come, like I'm not saying it's a good thing or a bad thing, right? But I'm trying to understand what their mindset is. It's like, okay, back home, they do not have that freedom. They don't have that opportunity to make like the amount of money they're making as they are doing it here, right? So let's say if they were doing it back home, if they were making that same amount of money, if they had that same, room of freedom, will they still do those things?
I mean, I don't think they will do it because already,
Why?
even if you are making that amount of money, it's like someone making 5,000 Ghana cedis in Ghana.
Mm-hmm.
Your rent has already taken everything. Your transportation,
Mm-hmm.
another issue. So you don't even have, your mind is to always make more.
Mm.
You are thinking like being successful to that point whereby you don't have to think about all those things. Like,
Okay.
But here, when you come, the denominations are different. The the inflations are different here.
Okay.
Like, when you see maybe $2 or $20, when you convert it to your country's whatever denomination, it's like, oh yeah, that's more. You are rich. You feel rich. The last time I was telling my wife, I was like, hey, no one should come for me. I was like, when I go to Nigeria, I'm a billionaire. When I go to Ghana, I'm a millionaire. Like,
Okay.
with all the assets and whatever that I have. Yeah. I mean, most people are. I will live different when I'm there.
Mm.
Not that I'm going to live a flashy life or whatever. Like, I'm just simple because I still hold tight to my roots.
Okay.
It doesn't mean that, when I see something nice, I can't buy. I'll only buy if I can buy it twice or 3 times. That's it. But
So if you can buy the flashy car 3 times,
if I can buy it 3 times, I'll buy
you
it.
buy it. Okay.
Yeah. And even cars, even if I can't buy it twice or 3 times, unless it's a necessity.
Mm.
The last time my wife and I we were like, okay, we need to start looking at bigger cars, like bigger SUVs, because our family is increasing. And the space that we have, it's not enough for the family that we currently have.
Okay.
And so we went, and then we're trying to weigh the options. We saw the car that we loved and trying to weigh the options, and I was like, well, very soon I will be gone, so you guys can use the one we have right now, and then when I come back, we'll figure things out. We'll try to see if we can get our car or not. So that's it. Like, that's a necessity.
Okay.
But we also noticed that, well, we might not need it right now, even though it's a necessity. Like, it's on our bucket list. I would say it's on number 3 of the back of the list, that yeah, we really need to get it because we must have it. You see, that's the thing. Like us, we have one car, which I'm happy about, because me, I ride a train. But at a point, now that our family has really increased, we need a second car. But I'm like, we don't need it right now because very soon I will be gone. So you guys can use the one that we have, and then when I come back, we'll buy another one.
Okay.
So that's it.
So do you think that is influenced by your culture?
The car?
No, the way you are thinking about things right now.
Oh, yeah. I mean, from like my home, how I was taught. The thing is that there's the thing. When my dad was in that, had money, when I go to work with him at a very young age, I think at the age of 7 or 8, I remember him going to the bank, he'll cash money, and then he'll give me bundles of money. Ghana, and he always, he knows that I like the new ones, so he will get that bundle for me. But I never saw the use of that because I was a kid. I didn't know. And one day my mom was telling me that when I was going to school, anytime I'm going to school, I'm not interested in the bigger denominations. I only want 250 50 pesos, the coin. I want the fresh ones, 2 of them, and then that's it. I'm happy. And the funny thing is, even when I go to school, I don't spend it. I bring it back home because I'm happy it's new. At the age of, I think, 12, I noticed that I was saving money, but I don't save those that have been crumbled or whatever.
Okay.
I save the new ones. I cherish those ones because I'm like, they are new. That's it. That's how I am. But so in other way, my culture, like how I grew up, has really shaped me, like the way I think. At some point, we didn't have anything. So I'm like, when I'm doing something, I need to think twice. When I was single, there are certain things that I would do and I wouldn't even think twice. But because I'm like, oh yeah, I'm alone, I can afford that and this. When I got married, when I'm buying something, I have to think twice because I'm like, nah, I'm not the only one. When we had kids, I'm like, okay, I need to stay back and stuff.
Yeah.
You see? So that's it. The way you are brought up influences how you behave, even when you move to a different place. Yesterday, I was watching Connected Mindset, and the headless YouTuber said something. And what he said was that you are the only one who can advise yourself. And he explained it. My culture, the way I was brought up from home, I can choose to accept and live by those cultures even when I move from the home. Or I can choose not to, go with those cultures. To be honest, there are certain things that you have to take which will help you. But some people, they will just throw everything away when they move to a different country or whatever. So that's it.
Okay. So just as you share that, and thanks for sharing that, it kind of also helps me see that, let's say, people that grew up very rich, right? Their parents had the money, and so they had like cars, and they don't really need to like sit and think about it and be like, okay, is this really a necessity?
To even get a bicycle.
And so yes, the cultures really influences our lifestyle, right? But having that mindset, and I like that you shared, it's not everything that we need, to toss out.
Yeah.
It's like some things, and I think that also kind of brings to mind is like, how were you even accepting that culture in the first place?
Yeah.
Did you feel like it was something that was being imposed on you and you never liked it, or you feel like this is something that is helpful to me? Because I tell you, there are people right now back home in Ghana that there are certain things in Ghana that they're like, yeah, I don't like this. I don't want to like live by this, right? It's like, oh, when they're home, their parents are like, okay, make sure you get home early. Make sure you didn't stay out late. Make sure you eat at home more than you eat outside. And that's, people ask me a lot, was it like a cultural shock coming to the US? And I was like, probably not in the way that they would think, but those things that were very different. Like, to me, back home, you eat a lot at home than you eat outside. And I still struggle with it. It's like most times I'll go out to the restaurants, I'll look at the menu more than like 10 times, trying to decide what to get. And I'm like, I just want to go home and eat.
Everything there, you don't want it.
Yeah, I'm like, I just want to go home and eat, because that is like the culture. That's the thing. And I've seen that doing that has really helped me live like a really healthy lifestyle. Even though I won't say it's perfect, I would say it's something that I'm still working on, to try and then get better. So definitely there are things that we don't need to toss out. And we first of all need to understand that, these things are important to us. So once again, it's like having that freedom, having that opportunity really shows if like we see that thing as important or not.
They say if you want to know the true character of a man, give him power. And honestly, from my life in the US, even at BYU Idaho, I have seen a lot. Like, people change because I have freedom here, I get lots of money. People change, and I've seen that, and I'm like, sometimes I sit back and I'm like, if you were home, would you have done that? Now, to come back to the quote that you made, when you go to Rome, do what the Romans do. I think sometimes we misunderstand certain proverbs or certain words. Like, for me, there's my definition for that quote. When you go to a country, I mean, I'm paraphrasing it. When you go to a country, obey their laws.
Okay.
When you go to Rome, obey the laws that they are obeying.
Yeah, that reminds me of what happened with Jesus and his disciples when he was like, whose face is on this coin? Like, do we need to pay taxes, right?
Give unto Caesar what belongs to Caesar. Yeah, so that's the same thing. Like me, there are certain quotes like, in Ghana, there are certain quotes. I always tell my mom, that quote, it doesn't make sense. Like, they will say, "Nia opinion eti kunyasu ubi huno akola crown food yampo." It doesn't make sense.
It does.
Not all the time.
All the time it does.
No, not all the time.
So once again, I'll say it's your interpretation of that, right?
And certain experiences that I have experienced.
Most times I like to break things down. So in there are two characters. There's an adult or opinion, and then a child, right? And then there is an action happening, what they are both seeing. Okay? How will you define an adult in that sense? For me, that's a wise man. And then the child is not a literal child.
I like the word wise man.
But it's someone that doesn't have maturity in order to be able to realize things around.
Sorry, I know we don't do politics on this podcast, but let me say this. See, I watch some things and on TV, YouTube, and I even listen to some things that politicians, let me not even use the word politicians, adults say, and I'm like, this person is not wise. Like,
do they look like they've succeeded in their life?
Oh yeah, some of them are rich. Like,
but
in their definition of success,
okay,
they are rich. If you should ask someone in Ghana is despite, let's say is who should I want to cite a good example. Is despite successful, they will say yes, he's successful. Why is he successful? Majority of the people will say that, oh yeah, he has money, he has lots of companies and stuff. to me, that's like 2% of his success. I mean, the success that we are talking about.
Okay.
Because do you know, even if he has peace of mind, but you can go to a village somewhere in Asokwa and see an old man or a young person and ask those villagers, is this young man successful? They'll say he's successful. But meanwhile, that person doesn't have the kind of money that the spite has. But he's successful. They see him to be very successful.
Okay.
It's because of certain characters or certain things that they've seen or that he has exhibited. That's why he's successful. That's why I say that the quote, whatever. See, we live in a different age now. There are certain things that, oh yeah, they will see and say it, which you need to take into consideration. The last time I was watching one of those love shows with my wife, and the guy will ask the girl a question, was like, so if you take a man home and your parents say don't marry the man, what would you do? And the girl was like, I'm absolutely going to listen to my parents because they are old and they see things. And I'm like, dude, your parents are not the one dating this person. At least take their words into consideration, assess the person, watch the person, study the person, compare. Is what my parents saying, did they give me a good reason? Sometimes parents say, oh, don't marry the person. They will not give you a good reason. The reason my parent gave, is it good? Like, is the man exhibiting those things, or he's exhibiting a positive side of whatever my parents said? So you see, sometimes they might be right, sometimes they are not right. Even when you are watching football, most of the people on the pitch are way older than us. Or even when people are playing chess, most of them, they are older than us. But you standing at the back, even when you are young or an adult, you see certain things that person sitting there can't see.
So
you see,
I like that you share that. It kind of helps me see like where you're coming from. So like with the example that you cited, like having a rich man and then having someone that is not rich, and like asking people whether they are successful or not, right? So that you see it from the perspective of other people. But for me, I feel real success is not determined by what someone sees in you. Real success is determined by what you see for yourself, progress that you've made. Because we are not in this world as perfect people.
That's true. But sometimes you don't see that you're successful. Like, was it 2 months ago? One of my mentors like sent a message to me and was like, just out of the blue, was like, we are really happy of the man you have grown to be and how far you've come. And I read the thing twice and I'm like, well, so I started looking back at my life and I was like, well, okay, that makes sense now. I've achieved certain things. I have built a reputation and they've seen that, oh yeah, he's gotten there. To them, I've gotten there. But to me, it's like, I'm not even there yet. To them, I am successful. But to me, I'm like, okay, so sometimes we need people to give us that assurance because we are not seeing it. They say, in the Ghanaian proverbs, they say, the person clearing the road doesn't know that his back is crooked. So sometimes we need that assurance. Not all of us see that, oh, we are there, we are doing it. Yeah.
Yeah, and just as you were saying, it's like you stand behind someone playing chess and then you see moves that you're like, do this move instead. Like, it's so funny. You see all these videos of like, because in Ghana they play draft and they play it under like big trees and stuff, and you have people, just two players sitting down and people around them, and you hear all this noise, and then they'll be insulting. They'll be like, why didn't you do this move? Why didn't you do that move? Right? But at the same time, it's like if you were sitting in the chair, you will not be able to see those moves. The moves that you see will be different because there are a lot of things that come into play when you are the one in the driving seat, right? So as I was saying, it's like we just need to look at it from so many different angles. Yeah. We need people to assure us, yes. Yeah. But if that assurance is not coming, that shouldn't be the all of it.
Yeah.
It shouldn't be like, oh, no one is complimenting me or assuring me that I'm succeeding or I'm doing well. And so that means I'm not doing well, right? And as you said, from that podcast you watched, Connected Minds that you shared, is like the only person that can advise yourself is you.
Yeah.
And so you sit down and you have the goal. I want to achieve this. I want to be successful at this. And we succeed every day.
Yeah.
But once again, like, how often do we sit down to like look back at our day and be like, okay, I was successful? Do we just focus on one thing, one big goal, and be like, oh, I was not able to hit this goal, so I was not able to succeed today?
Yeah. Talking about success, I'm speaking as an immigrant, okay? When you leave your home and you come to a different country, oh yeah, everybody see you as you are successful now.
You've succeeded in something.
And then there's this expectation of, sending money home, helping friends and whatever way back home.
And that's a cultural thing.
That's
right?
a cultural thing, because in their mind, as long as you leave Ghana,
You've
you
made
are
it.
successful.
Yep.
You've made it. Like, that's something that, and they would not understand even when you explain it to them that, Masa, I'm not there. I haven't made it.
I know you said it's not every quote that you kind of agree with, but then as you're saying, one quote came to mind. It's like, to whom much is given,
much is
required.
But have you been given much here? The only thing you've been given is a good system as compared to the one you are from.
Mm-hmm.
That this system, you can succeed in it. It doesn't kind of like shatter you. Whereby, like here, typical example, if you want to start a business, you can even, register your business and whatever. Like, within a few weeks, you can get your business registration, pay and stuff. Whereby, where we come from, Charlie, to even register your business, you have to go through a lot of hoops and whatever, put money, oil someone's palm before, So it's like, by the time you even get there, you get a thing, like you've lost that, you give up.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean that here, Charlie, I have succeeded. It's just that here, there are open waters for you to succeed.
So do you believe that culturally those people believe in you, that you make good use of that system?
I mean, if you are coming from a home, that's what they believe, that you make good use of that system.
Mm-hmm.
But not everyone makes use of that system.
Yeah. And so when they start demanding for things, because I think that's another culture thing, right? And you can either let that fuel you, to want to work hard to make it, so that like you can help those that actually need it.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times, I don't want to say it's not everyone that needs it.
Yeah.
But there are some people that just will want to extort you, right?
Yeah.
And just want to take advantage and be like, oh, I know this guy is my friend, and so I can, just like.
And let me even say this: it's not only people who leave their country and come here. Even some people here, they have that open waters, and still they don't want to succeed. It's like they have this mindset that, oh yeah, they are like government stuff that you can go through and get things for free, and people take advantage of that. Like, I have seen a lot. I don't want to mention names, but like I have seen a lot. I've seen people who take advantage of all those things. You let me.
Is that a cultural thing though? Because as you said, it's like you go to places here in the States and you realize that, let's say you go to a community, right? And you realize that the way they live, the circumstances they live in, it's not that favorable. Schools that they even go to are different, right? They don't have like, the education system is set, but the quality of teachers that they have is not that great. The quality of resources that they even have, it's not good. So it's like, are they in a system set up for them to fail? Is it like a cultural thing?
I don't even know. this thing we can't blame everything on culture, because let's look at someone like Trevor Noah. His success is mostly tied to his country, which is South Africa, his roots and everything. But did he succeed in South Africa? I don't think so. I haven't done that extensive research yet. But I think whatever roots that he held on to from there, when he brought them here, helped shaped him here. Like in Ghana, typical example, I wouldn't say it's all cultural. Sometimes it is a system. The system doesn't really favor most of us. It's more of like who you know. Not even who you know, who knows you. That's the thing. Because if let's say like someone like me, let's say I hit a jackpot. Maybe I'm in a government position or whatever in Ghana. I'll bring people that are close to me, right? Like that's the normal thing. That's the norm. I mean the normal thing that people do. But someone who doesn't have those connections will not get that opportunity. Even when you are done with school and you are doing your internship or national service, to say in Ghana, if you don't know someone, you are not going to get better posting. Unless you know someone before they'll post you to a nice place, and stuff. So it's the system. I think the system is set up to favor some people and others to just you, yourself, and God.
Yeah.
That's it.
So the system, I feel it's like a culturally influenced thing, though. So culture still plays a part in the system, or the system creates the culture that the people grow up to know.
Yeah.
And that kind of follows them throughout the rest of their life. Because you go to places where, like, foreigners are not welcome. They are like, oh, this is our community. Like, we are tight. Like, we don't want, like, any cultural influence. Like, we stick to this, we stick to that. Like, you try to bring in any new culture, any new idea, like, you are seen like evil, someone that needs to be cast out. And in things like that, being able to succeed requires a lot of mental strength and mental fortitude, which a lot of times, and also a lot of like exposure, because I remember when we had the session with Ella, and then she shared about when she traveled to Africa and how that has changed her life. Having that exposure and realizing that there is something different than what I've grown to know, what I've been used to, then it kind of switches a light bulb in your mind, and then you start to think, you start to advise yourself, once again, coming back to what you shared. And then I feel that is when the process starts for you to be able to succeed despite your culture, despite what you've grown to know.
Yeah, I mean, that makes sense. And I even have a question here. And I'm going to ask you this.
Okay.
Have you ever felt pressure to tone down your culture just to fit in or to be accepted in a society or in a community?
That's a really, really good question. Let me see off the top of my head. I'll probably say no, because I'm not someone that lives to please people. Like, growing up, I've always been, people will say, like, you are stubborn. I've always been, like, very stubborn. It's like I have things that I stick with, and I'm like, no matter what you try to do, I'm going to stick to those things.
Yeah.
But I also say I've been to places where maybe I've had to dress in a certain way and act in a certain way because that environment requires me to be like that.
Okay. Everyone knows, even my wife knows, that when I'm eating my chicken, I like to chew my bones. So
you need Smith here. Talk about that.
Yeah, I'm not a person who will pretend to be. No, like I think the first time I went with my wife. I mean, I visited a parent's house, and then I was chewing my bones, and they were like, "You chew the bones?" And I was like, "Yeah, I get calcium in it."
Hmm.
They were like, "Really?" Yeah, I'm like, "Yeah, I get calcium in it. I'm not going to buy supplements. No, I get my calcium in it. This is who I. This is how I grew up. That's who I am."
Hmm.
Yeah, in some setting, you need to be more attentive, and then, like you said, read the room and
Hmm.
stuff. Yeah, but man, I can't throw a whole chicken away. Where I come from, we don't throw food away. Yeah,
I mean, yeah, if you are with family, right,
yeah.
it's better than if you are, let's say, at a very high end business,
Oh yeah, that one. Yeah, but
Yeah, you're not going to be
boys like
cracking
ourselves.
bones.
Yeah, by ourselves. You see, we'll meet doing barbecue or whatever, and you see people pretending and whatever.
That they don't chew
They are
bone.
throwing. They are,
Maybe they don't chew it.
no, some of them I know them. They chew the bone to their core. But let's leave that aside. I think another thing is that sometimes people feel. I think sometimes what people do to leave their culture behind is when they move to a different country. Fine, your change of food. Sometimes you don't have a lot of options, so that's understandable. But people kind of like change their names.
Mm.
I've met so many people
So change
changing
their
from
name. So
Ghana, like they pronounce their name differently so
oh,
that it will
okay.
be more acceptable.
Oh, gotcha.
Like even people from Ghana, some of my Nigerian friends, yeah, they kind of like change the name so that it will be more acceptable. Like I don't know if you get what I'm saying.
Okay.
So that's one thing that I feel makes people throw their culture away. It's like you're not proud of yourself or your culture.
You want to fit
You
in.
want to fit in. Like, man, why do you have to even do that?
Mm.
So, yeah.
So I mean, fitting in. It's also reminding me of the session we had with Jeff, being authentic. Right.
Yeah.
You guys should go and check that one out as well. So, do you think they're trying to do that, feeling that that's going to help them succeed?
Maybe. It's just like when I came newly, they will be like, this, what did they say? Yeah, they'll say your accent. Yeah. One guy, he was like, yeah, your accent. That's why you're not getting the job when you go for interviews. And I'm like, my accent is even better than you, because the person is from Nigeria. I'm like, my accent is better than yours. So why are you telling me my accent? That's why you're not getting a job, and you have to change, and all of that. And which is, I don't know. I feel people we sometimes we change so that we'll be successful.
Mm.
Yeah, like how do I like this immigration thing going on? Some people even feel obliged to change their name so that they don't get targeted and stuff, which some people have done. Some people even try to change their identity so that they don't get targeted and stuff. So it's, I don't know. Listen, it's a dicey topic, but
Yeah, it's so that's what I'm saying is like people have different reasons,
yeah,
why they do different things.
yeah,
And we standing behind, like, we'll be able to realize that, wait, this is not like your authentic self. Like, what are you trying to achieve with this? Maybe in their mind, they have a goal that they've set that they want to achieve, and they feel like breaking away from that cultural identity is going to help them succeed in that, right? But I'll also say there's time for everything.
yeah,
And there are times when, even if we try to like change who we are, we shouldn't look down upon other people that are still retaining that. Like I should share is like he's telling you, hey, you're not going to get a job because of your accent.
yeah.
Like,
And that's one thing I've seen a lot. Like, whilst you are trying to preserve your culture or whatever, or the way you are, some people tend to look down on you and stuff. I've experienced that, but I'm like, I don't care. But this brings me to a question that I have. Do you think should I say we? Do you think that the younger, I mean, this generation defines success versus culture differently than the older people?
Definitely, I'll say. Um, I just saw like a research that happened a while back that was kind of focused on bet rates,
Hmm.
and it came out that the bet rates now has reduced drastically. You know,
There's no money in the system.
that's what people say. But then they realize that people are focusing more on having you know, a good job, a job that pays well, like having like a big house, like cars,
Yeah.
and stuff like that instead of having a family. And the older generation definitely focus more on families
Yeah.
because if they had not, the population that currently exists in the world will not be, and so yeah, the mindset is definitely different.
Yeah.
And I also say, did the older generation really help the current generation?
Yes and no.
How?
Yes, because they instill their culture, whatever they've learned
Hmm.
in us, but I think we threw it away.
We threw
We,
it away.
yeah, like how would I even say it? Like some comment though, oh, we live in a digital world. Like your umbre cream, their days are over.
Okay.
But there are certain things. It's just like the Bible. You can never do away with the Old Testament. There are things in the Old Testament that are still relevant in the New Testament. There are things in the past in the the generation past that are still relevant here now in this generation.
Hmm.
Let's take a typical example, like the way um, roads are constructed here. I think they do in the past is the same idea that they use to build those roads.
Yeah.
Maybe a few tweaks might have been implemented, but still they learn from that. But us, no, we throw it away. The new generation, we just most of us we just throw it away. Oh, that yeah, this thing doesn't work here, and then we'll focus on what we do and stuff.
Hmm.
Like those days, there's something they call akitesia in Ghana, or ba wakata nuhuisi, like
Hmm.
meaning a lady who is well covered. But now you see all sort of things, which I know people are going to get mad, but I'll just say it. You see all sort of things, people showing their cleavage and whatever, and I'm like, but those days you don't do that.
Hmm.
Like it's not nice. Hope you
Yeah.
understand. Yeah. So, and even to the question that I asked, in those days, from what I saw in my family, if my dad is able to feed us, that is, that's his definition of success. Feed us, have peace of mind. That's his definition of success. And I think that's one thing I've also taken. My definition of success is being able to take care of my family and then having my peace of mind.
Hmm.
The rest, I just don't care. Like, nah, peace of mind over everything. But I look at people and like my generation now, and success is more about the flashy cars, the latest iPhone, the um, the big money and stuff. Some time ago, I got a job. I mean, when I finished school, I got a job, and then when I got hired full time, another company came for me. They started poaching me, and anytime they come with bigger, bid
Offer.
offer. The third bid they came with, my wife was with me, and the person knew my wife. So the person was like, "I'm not going to talk to you." The person went straight, spoke to my wife, and my wife was like, "You can just take it, just do it for a year and see if you like it." And I told my wife, "What is the essence of a good pay if you're not enjoying what you do?"
Mm.
And she was like, "Well, you haven't done it yet. Just try it." So I accepted the offer and I tried it. I wasn't happy about it. And then the company that I left, oh, you even remember
Yeah.
when we went to Smith's graduation at Tempanyaki, the man who was there offered us a job with whatever, but I couldn't accept it. I couldn't accept it. So the company that I left came back for me with a good offer again. But I have worked with them before and I always enjoy what I do. So and then I went back to my wife. I told you what is the essence of a good paying job if you don't enjoy what you do. Now in this generation, most of us chase the money, the big bags and stuff. And some of them are not enjoying what they do. A lot of people don't enjoy what they do. Even when it comes to marriage, there are people who will go in for flashy girls, flashy women, the looks and whatever. And I'm like, that is not important. Honestly. Someone made a comment. He's like, if you want to go far in life, pay attention to the kind of person you marry. Whether a man or a woman, pay attention to the kind of person that you marry. And it's true. Like I always tell people, I'm grateful that whatever happened to me led me to my wife, because I have seen the growth compared to, other people that I've dated or whatever and stuff. I'm not disrespecting them. Each of them left a good mark there. But, there are certain things that, and they were awesome. Okay. But looking at beauty, if I had looked at beauty, man, no matter what, there is someone who is beautiful than your wife.
Yeah.
That's a fact. Even if you are rich, there is also someone who is richer than you. If you have the nicest house, there is also someone who has the most nicest house. So this life, if you compare yourself to other people, if you look at certain things, you will never be fulfilled.
I like that you shared that in the end. We should never compare ourselves with others, right? So success, we need to define our success in our own way.
Yep.
And we need to define it in a way that's going to be sustainable and in a way that's going to help our future generation.
Yep.
Not just ourselves, enjoying things now, I would just end with these two quotes. And I know the first one is one that will resonate with you, and it will be part of the ones that you're like, yeah, you don't agree with. The first one says that which means when time changes, you should change as well. And as you share that, which is like, it's not everything that we need to change with. There are still cultural things that we need to hold on to. As you shared, we have to be modest. We still have to respect our elderly.
Yeah.
But then that does not mean we need to be timid. We need to be bold, but not overbearing, right? And then the last quote that I will share, that one says that, wait, that just went out of my mind. But I know it was a good one.
Okay.
That had to do with, it came back. It came back. It says Sankofa Yinchi.
Yeah.
That relates to culture. It means that going back to retrieve good things is not bad.
That's why we have data centers. They learn from the past. They go, search, look at those past data, and then use them to, work in this future, resolve issues now that are happening.
Yeah, I feel that there's a hidden message behind that, but I'll leave that with you. So, guys, yes, it's been an interesting conversation. Okay.
Just remember that success without culture is like a growing tree. It will never stand tall for long. And also remember, never compare yourself to anyone. Like the person that you should compare yourself to is the person you see in the mirror. And also, this is a marathon, not 100 meters. You always have the time to succeed.
Thank you so much, Dieterk. It's been a great conversation with Dieterk, and then we are glad that you guys joined us in this conversation. There's been a lot of great quotes that have come out. If you guys have other wonderful, great quotes that you have as well, please feel free to share with us in the comment section. If there were things that we said that you liked, please feel free to also comment and then let us know, so that we can keep doing what we do. We want to know that we are really giving value to you guys, that your time is being spent well as you're listening to us, that we are giving you guys great things that are going to help you succeed in whatever you're striving to do. And if there are things that you also feel that we said you don't agree with, let us know in the comment section as well. We are humans just as yourself. We are not perfect. We are learning as well. And there are things that these feedbacks will help us, improve upon ourselves so that we can continue sharing our thoughts and ideas with you. Thank you all for joining today. And please also remember to like and subscribe and keep with us until next time. This has been the Success Mindset.